Well, we have some breaking news for you. Breitbart conservative commentator Milo Yiannopoulos has already been disinvited from speaking at the Conservative Political Action Conference. This after a controversial video surfaced. But could he be in even more trouble with his employer? Joining me now, Charlie Gasparino, to break it.
I want to say this, that I take have no credit and thrill in this story. Milo Yiannopoulos is a guy that I know. I actually like him a lot. I think he's a provocateur, and I think he took it too far with these statements about sex between underage but mature men and older men, and it's probably something he shouldn't be opining on. He's known as tech editor of Breitbart. You might want to stick at that. But those statements came to light. They were made.
Has he walked back some of those statements already?
Well, he's tried to put them in context, and it hasn't helped him. I'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
As you said today, these statements came to light. They were made in a podcast. And by the way, we have the full story on foxbusiness.com. Should be up momentarily.
Yeah.
It's a podcast he did in January where these statements came out. It sparked outrage in the conservative community, primarily because he's going to speak at the upcoming CPAC conference. When it came out, CPAC rescinded its invitation, and now what sources are telling us, not surprisingly, sources are telling us inside Breitbart that he's facing possible dismissal. There is, from what I understand, a fierce debate inside Breitbart. Some editors, listen, he's well liked inside Breitbart. He was well liked by Steve Bannon when Steve Bannon ran it. Steve Bannon, as you know, is now working for the Trump administration. He's the senior advisor. But there are senior people inside Breitbart right now that are saying that these latest statements are a bridge too far. We cannot defend these. Now, we should point out that I would suggest two things, and I kind of don't want to characterize what he said. I want the viewer and the reader should opine for themselves. On foxbusiness.com, we have both what he said, where he was sort of opining in a very theoretical way between mature, young, underage boys having sex with older men. And
why does he even want to get into that, though? I mean, what purpose is it serve?
Milo is openly gay. He admits in this podcast that he had sex when he was 13. He thinks political correctness, at least that's what he said, has made that type of sex between mature young people and older people made it a sort of crime when it shouldn't be. He also said in the podcast he believes that... Well,
the fact remains it is.
Yeah, but he also believes that the age of consent is where it should be. And in most states, that's around 18, depending on the state. He has a full explanation of what he says he meant on his Facebook page. But I will tell you this. Breitbart has defended... He's made many controversial statements. I mean, that's what he...
This guy's a lightning rod.
He is. He's a provocateur. He wants to challenge orthodoxies. He wants to throw stuff in your face. He's openly gay. He's openly critical of Muslims. He's openly critical of others that condemn and both support the gay agenda, as he would support the gay political agenda. He's anti-political correctness. He's clearly a lightning rod. And he got into this thing as a way to provoke thought, and this one, I think, has pushed it over the line.
But he's talked himself out of an appearance at CPAC, and now could very well have talked himself out of a job. Yeah,
and by the way, we should point out he has a book coming by, I believe it's Simon & Schuster. He may talk himself out of the book deal. I mean, who knows? Yeah. They don't have to go through with it. There are all sorts. I know they're giving me the rap here. I just want to put this in context. Yeah. Because this is a big story, particularly if he does get dismissed. And I don't know if he will. I just know that inside Breitbart, there are people saying that there's a good chance. Yeah. There is a debate. There are people that want him to stay. But they find this thing very, very hard to defend. And we're going to see what happens. It'll be very interesting. And by the way, I heard it could come sooner rather than later. I mean, he's going to have to explain himself. But one of the things they're worried about inside Breitbart is in him explaining this statement, that he digs himself deeper. It's hard to explain this statement other than in real theoretical choice. Real theoretical,
the more he talks, the worse it gets, it feels like, in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like Milo. I take no joy in doing this story. He's a good kid. He got ahead of his skis on this.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Charlie, thank you very much. Appreciate it, breaking that news.